Namaste and welcome to the Divas That Care Network. I'm your host, Gia-Raquel Rose, owner of Airs Above Yoga, and you are listening to Above the Ground podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, our network is going into its 16th year and is listened to in over 30 countries. I would like to personally thank you for giving me the gift of your time. As always, it is my honor to hold space with you. And today, for our meditation episode, we're going to go into and continue, I should say, in this theme of keeping our energy and our focus turning inward. So, I actually led a friend of mine through this meditation last week. And this meditation is basically once you start to spiral with your mind, which I'm an overthinker, a friend of mine is an overthinker. So anytime you start to get stuck in that loop of, let's face it, more often than not, it's negative. I feel like, if someone talks about focus and spiraling on something positive, we're going to call it a daydream, right? We're not going to call it overthinking. So I think there's an inherent, I don't want to say negative, but potentially negative connotation to overthinking. Generally, it is counterproductive. It is taking you very much into your headspace and not into a positive headspace, but into a cyclical, perpetual, self-perpetuating anxiety loop and spiral. And so when, as a yoga instructor, as we tend to go through those thoughts and spirals, it's always preferable. And what I always say, as I mentioned last time, get out of your head and get into your body. So whenever we start to get those kind of repetitive, cyclical, uh, just hyper fixation, hyper focus, but not in a positive, constructive way, but in, a self-defeating way, it's time to check in with yourself. It's time to shut your mind off with purpose, with intention, redirect your energy, focus on something positive. It's kind of not dissimilar to the way that you start to prevent yourself from having an anxiety attack, right? Some of those loops can be precursors for an anxiety attack, even potentially. So, in an effort to give you more tools with which to avoid those negative thoughts, those counterproductive lines of energy that you're directing, right? Because where your energy flows, where your thought is where your mind goes, right? Or vice versa, where your mind goes, energy flows. So if you're going into those self-perpetuating negative fear-based cycles, then you're obviously going to be taking yourself out of the productive, forward thinking, instead of focusing on the problem, focusing on the solution to the problem, right? And so this particular meditation is a way to bring your body to the forefront as opposed to allowing your mind to get to the forefront. So, last sequence, we did a meditation about creating that safe space and training your nervous system, training your body to be in a state of safety, to memorize what that feels like physically, mentally, and emotionally for yourself by creating it in meditation, so you can start to allow your system to feel it, even if it's not reflective of your immediate environment. And so this is along the same lines, but the difference here is that we're actually going to use our breath and we're going to use our hands as the ways to redirect our energy back into ourselves instead of, sending it out and leaking it out and potentially focusing and creating that which we don't want to, right? So we're going to redirect it. And so, as always, I will say for this particular meditation, I recommend being in a chair or a comfortable, like a couch sofa, but one where your feet can be on the ground, your back is supported. And that's why I will say for this one, I will always tell you to always practice your meditations comfortably in whatever position you need to do for your body. For some people, sitting is painful, right? Don't do it then. So if you need to lie down, lie down if you can. What I like for this meditation is for you to be physically redirecting the energy inwards or to the ground. So that's why I would like feet flush on the floor, even if you're lying down. This is going to be one of those rare meditations where I say, don't put your legs up the wall. Or if you do put your legs up the wall, bring the soles of the feet together. So you're either bringing your feet together or you're bringing them in contact with the ground beneath you. In any way that you can set yourself up comfortably for, let's say, 15 minutes or so, give or take. And we're going to do the same thing with our hands. So giving you some time, remember, you're going to be here for a moment. So it has to be a position that you can comfortably be in. And obviously we want the most support as we can for the physical body. So whether we don't want to be slouchy, air quotes for those of you that are listening and not watching. We don't want to be slouchy. We want to have good posture. So in a chair, even if you need to place a pillow behind your lumbar spine, we want to have full support of the spine, full support of the hips, full support of the feet. And we want to be able to feel upright, strong, and positioned appropriately. If you do choose to lie down, then I would suggest taking, if you're on a yoga mat, let's say, or you're on the floor, taking the edges of the feet to the edges of the mat or slightly wider than hips width, and grounding through your feet as you allow your knees to rotate in and rest on each other. And this will allow the hips to internally rotate and give a little bit of a release to the sacrum and the lower back area. So making sure your spine is flush with the ground beneath you, making sure that your knees are supported, your feet are grounded. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is having, again, that reclined bound angle. So if you have open and flexible hips and you're comfortable and it doesn't provide any lower back discomfort or pelvic discomfort in any way, then you can come back down fully onto the floor, laying down on your back, take the soles of the feet together, and then allow the knees to fall out wide and allow that cycle of energy again going back through the feet back into the body. And you can do that same bound angle reclined position in legs up the wall. So then you would take your hips flush with the wall, make sure there's no gap between your sits bones, the base of the pelvis, and the wall. And then again, with your soles of the feet together, allow your knees to press out towards the wall, and then your back can be extended on the floor beneath your hips. Those are some options for you, or you can just sit comfortably in a chair with your feet on the ground, pillow behind your back, and spine fully supported. Hopefully now I've given you enough time to get yourself into that comfortable seat. And we're going to just begin, as we always do, by gently lowering our gaze and closing our eyes. And the first step to get out of our heads and into our bodies, as always, is by connecting with our breath. And simply beginning to take our awareness into our body by focusing on our breath. Consciously slowing the breathing, beginning to make the inhales and exhales similar length. If it's comfortable for you and accessible, beginning to breathe in and out through the nose. If for some reason that's inaccessible, breathing however you need to, which feels balanced and comfortable for you. And then we're going to begin by taking our hands and grasping our elbows with our hands comfortably. So whether you're sitting in a chair, taking the hands onto the elbows, and just continuing to breathe slowly and balanced. Inhale and exhale. Beginning to notice the warmth of the palms of your hands on your elbows. And beginning to realize that that is your energy flow moving through your body, being redirected back into yourself. Just paying attention to any sensations that come up for you. Is it heat? Is it tingling? Does it feel like pins and needles? paying attention and being in that place. And now we're going to begin a practice in yogic breathing known as four square breath. If for whatever reason your hands are uncomfortable or grasping your elbows is taking you physically out of comfort, then you can either take your hands onto your legs or bring them to your heart center or press your palms in together, as long as your hands are still in physical connection with your body as we move through this next practice. And with this four square breath, we're going to start to cultivate balance and positive cycles. So we're going to make sure that we do this as comfortably as is possible. And if at any point you need to breathe normally, please revert back to your natural rhythm of breath. With four square breathing, we breathe in for a count of 4. We hold the inhale for a count of 4. We exhale for a count of 4. And we hold the exhale for a count of 4. We then repeat a minimum of 4 breaths, or as long as it takes for you to begin to feel balanced and at peace. Let's begin now by taking a normal breath. Inhale and exhale all the air out. On our next inhale, breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold out the exhale for 4. Inhale for 4, hold the inhale, exhale for 4, hold the exhale. Inhale for 4, hold the inhale, exhale for 4, hold the exhale. Inhale for 4, hold the inhale, exhale for 4, hold the exhale. Last round, inhale for 4, hold the inhale, exhale for 4, hold the exhale. Breathe normally. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Everyone's rate of breath is different, and if this is a part of your practice already, then please know that you can breathe not only for a count of 4, but you can extend the inhales, the holds, and the exhales as long as is reasonably comfortable for you to do. 4 is a nice, stable, and sturdy, mostly accessible number. So now moving through from here, based on the assumption that we are using this meditation to bring us into our bodies from a cluttered, chaotic, or even self-defeating mind. From this place of balance and from your palms, wherever they have been comfortably, through our round of breath work. Allow your hands to find whatever point of your body they were naturally called to based on the fear cycle you were formerly experiencing. Release your hands now and allow them to go wherever they need to go and find rest on your body. And now begin to breathe deeply, normally, into the palms of your hands wherever they have fallen. Allow the breath to become a color or light. Give it shape and form with your mind's eye. And breathe that light into the body to meet the warmth of your hands. And begin to create this flow of energy between the inhales and the exhales. Breathe in the light, or breathe in whatever color first came to your mind's eye. And breathe out the story that you're focused on. Give that a color. Or if you're working with light, allow it to take the shape of darkness or shadow. And with every round of breath, allow that light to replace any darkness in the area of your body where your hands are seated. Watch the breath flush away any doubt, any fear, any false narrative, even any narrative based on past experience. Breathe in the light of trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in your abilities. Trust in your loved ones. Trust in your higher self or the divine. Trust in the brightness of your future. And with every breath, begin to fill your hands and your body with this lightness. And with each exhale, watch this darkness leave the space where it was hiding. Feel the doubt releasing from your body. Feel a sensation of ease replacing any tension, any feeling of being less than, being not enough, knowing that these feelings are thoughts and not truth. Continue to breathe into that light space behind your hands. And when you start to feel your chest lighten and your shoulders soften, leave your left hand where both hands are now in contact with your body, and bring your right hand to your heart center. If your hands were on your heart center, bring your left hand or leave your left hand at your heart center. And if it's comfortable for you, bring your right hand to the crown of the head. And begin to see the light that comes in with the breath, creating a channel of energy between either your heart and where your hand originally was, or your heart, if that's where your hand originally was, and the crown of your head. And now, with every breath, begin to watch that light travel upwards, either to your heart or to the crown of your head. With every inhale now, not only are we replacing, but we're opening and creating this channel of light, of truth, of connection, and of union. Every inhale, feel the light rise up through your body. With every exhale, release any darkness you may find on your way. And watch as the light begins to replace any shadow, any lingering doubts or fears, with trust, with faith, and with connection to your higher self. Breathe that light into your heart space. Breathe that light into your voice and your throat. Breathe that light into the space behind your eyes. And finally, breathe that light above the crown of your head. And watch how the light begins to connect above and below you through your hips, legs, the soles of your feet, the palms of your hands. Bringing your hands back together now and pressing them into each other at your heart center. Grounding the soles of your feet into themselves or the earth beneath you. Feeling this line of light connection between your body and your higher self. Breathing normally, relaxing your breath. Feeling the warmth of your hands. feeling the sacred grounding of your feet into the earth beneath you. Knowing that your fear is a thought, knowing that the truth is found in the light that is always within you and always connected, not just to the ground below your feet, but to the truth of who you really are at your soul's level. Continue now to breathe deeply, but also relaxing each breath, allowing yourself to feel rooted in your body and grounded to the earth beneath you. And when you are ready, your own time, gently beginning to release your palms and open your eyes. As always, and with any meditation, take as much time as you need to come out of the meditation, doing so slowly, gently. And when you're complete, it is always suggested to drink water. If you're not allergic, perhaps a piece of dark chocolate to help to ground you back into your body. And hopefully now into that sensation of trust within yourself, your higher self, and the reality that you get to create as opposed to the reality that you fear will happen to you. And isn't that always the always the goal? I thank you so much for sharing your time with me and for sharing this space with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I ask that you please feel free to share this same space with your loved ones, especially if it brought you some peace. For more goodness, follow me on all the socials at Above the Ground Podcast and visit my website, airsAboveYoga.com. As always, don't forget to check out my other episodes and all of my amazing sisters at the Divas That Care Network. You can find us on Apple, Odyssey, Amazon, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or anywhere else that you feel guided. Again, my name is Gia-Raquel Rose, owner of Airs Above Yoga, and you are listening to Above the Ground Podcast, where every day is a good one.